In a recent emotional episode of the long-running TLC reality show Sister Wives, the funeral of Garrison Brown brought the entire Brown family together, including a family member who has rarely made appearances on camera. During its remarkable 19-season course, Sister Wives has followed the lives of Kody Brown's large family, including all 18 of his children. Throughout the years, fans have observed different moments from each of the children's lives. One of those children, however, Leon Brown, who is Kody and Mary Brown's sole child, has generally remained under the radar and is not regularly depicted on the show. However, in this touching episode involving bereavement and solidarity with the family, even Leon, who normally prefers to stay in the background, made an appearance to pay his respects to Garrison and stand by their loved ones during this extremely emotional moment. Leon Brown, who publicly identified as transgender in 2022 and uses the pronouns they/them, has always preferred to maintain his private life out of the spotlight. His preference for a more reclusive life has been honored by his family, particularly his mother, Mary Brown. Mary has continued to be fiercely protective of Leon's boundaries over the years, seldom offering public facts or updates about him through interviews or social media. Although they prefer privacy, fans of Sister Wives saw a poignant and rare moment on the May 18th episode of the reality series. In the emotional wake of Garrison Brown's funeral, Leon briefly appeared. The moment caught them with their sister, Maddie Brown Brush, Kody Brown and Janelle Brown's daughter, as the family came together to give each other support throughout the grieving process. It was a quiet but potent moment that highlighted the strong ties in the Brown family, even if some members prefer to live more quietly outside of the limelight. In the emotionally charged scene, Maddie Brown Brush opens up about her complicated and strained relationship with her father, Kody Brown. With raw honesty, she expresses her feelings by saying, "So with Kody, it's like I'm angry at the way things happened." Her words reflect the emotional tension and unresolved issues that have lingered between them over time. As she talks, the camera slightly unfocuses on Leon Brown, who sits close by. They sit back slightly, but stay quiet but very alert, listening hard and intently as their sister explains her inner turmoil. Their silence, though said without words, says a lot about the seriousness of the talk and the tacit understanding of siblings going through the same emotional landscape. Maddie goes on to continue her emotional introspection, supplementing it with, "But I can control how I respond and how I respond back, and I'm still figuring out how I do that." Her statement sends a strong message of self-improvement, embracing the hurt of the past and yet accepting the value of how one wants to go on. It's an intimate moment of vulnerability and strength that captures the nuance of healing family trauma. As Maddie Brown Brush concludes speaking, there is a palpable silence in the room. Leon Brown is briefly at a loss for words, seated in contemplative silence, perhaps taking in the seriousness of what has just been said. The atmosphere is somber, but then, suddenly, a laugh slips from the lips of some other person sitting on the couch, a nameless person whose short burst of laughter provides a surprising contrast to the emotional tension filling the room. In reaction, Leon Brown fights down a small smile, a hesitant, transient response that implies a difficult blend of feelings below the surface. Brush then continues, her voice softening as she shifts her attention to the broader impact of the family's fractured dynamics. "I'm sad for him, and I'm really sad for Robin's kids," she says with genuine concern, referencing the emotional toll the situation has likely taken on Kody and Robin Brown's children. As she speaks, Leon leans forward slightly, visibly more engaged, their body language showing a deep attentiveness and empathy toward their sister's words. With honesty and openness, Brush continues, "And if I sat down and talked with any of them, I'd be like, I don't have anything against you, and if I've ever done anything to cause you pain, I apologize. Her words are an earnest overture to make peace, an olive branch to help mend the emotional chasm in the family, especially with those who might have felt hurt or estranged during the turmoil in the family. In response to Maddie Brown Brush's heartfelt and empathetic reflection, Leon Brown finally speaks up and gives a tearful reply. I would love to sit and have a chat with them, Leon says, apparently talking about Robin Brown's children, a move that is both indicative of being open and healing-oriented. Their words are plain, but profoundly significant, indicating readiness to fill in emotional blanks and progress in terms of comprehension. Maddie takes up the thread of the conversation again, her voice soft and honest as she goes on. I don't know what to say about it except if I ever hurt you, I apologize. The pressure of her statement is felt. Not only an apology, but an offer to reconnect based on empathy and compassion. As she talks, Leon mutely nods in confirmation, their movement underlining a mutually accepted sense of responsibility and emotional sensitivity. It's an unobtrusive but potent moment, two brothers saying sorry, reflecting, and reaching for healing in the midst of the fractured history of the family. Their dialogue encapsulates the very spirit of emotional maturity and the bravery it requires to confront unresolved hurt with honesty and humility. During the untimely death of Garrison Brown, his father, Kody Brown, was estranged from him, a source of anguish which served as yet another compounding factor to the complicated family dynamics. The relationship issues between Kody and a number of his children, such as Maddie Brown Brush, have been a source of ongoing emotional storyline resolution in the last season or so of Sister Wives. These taut bonds have uncovered the profound emotional cleavages that have developed over time within the Brown family, presenting an image of a formerly cohesive plural family now trying to find common ground. At the same time, Robin Brown's children have similarly shared their own feelings of emotional remoteness, writing that they frequently felt alone or disconnected from the rest of the family. Their views have contributed to the continued debate regarding division and favoritism inside the Brown family hierarchy. Robin, who is the last of Kody Brown's 4 wives and the only one he remains legally married to, has frequently been at the center of this controversy. Her continuing relationship with Kody has sparked criticism from the other former sister wives, who have openly claimed that Robin is his favorite, a label that has stirred resentment and emotional pain among the family. Kody, meanwhile, has denied the claim as unfair and insisted that he doesn't favor anyone. Nevertheless, the tension over the matter still hangs over the family's continued narrative, with every member struggling with their own truths and emotional paths. Tragedy hit the Brown family in March 2024 when Garrison Brown took his own life at the young age of 25, leaving behind a sea of tears and sorrow. In the days leading up to his death, Leon Brown honored their deceased brother in a personal and poignant Instagram post. They posted a heartfelt photo of the two of them together, with a heartbreaking quote from one of Garrison's favorite movies, Dragonheart. "To the stars, Bowen, to the stars," Leon captioned it, a majestic line that was laced with love and goodbye, paying tribute to their brother in peaceful elegance. When the anniversary of Garrison's passing drew near, Leon came back to social media to convey the lingering ache of their loss. To mark a year since he died, they uploaded another loved picture with Garrison, but this time accompanied by a caption that captured the comparative pain of loss over time. "I miss you more and more every day. It doesn't get easier, just longer," the message stated. The plain but poignant words expressed a profound, persistent sadness, one that will be familiar to anyone who's ever suffered the enduring pain of losing someone they loved. In a rare and sincere update given during a December 2024 People magazine interview, Mary Brown spoke briefly about her son, Leon Brown, giving some insight into how they'd been doing in the aftermath of a tough year. Mary, who is fiercely loyal about keeping Leon's life private, accepted their conscious decision to stay out of the public limelight. They, by choice, have made a decision to not be super public, she explained wisely. So I don't talk about them so much. Despite their limited public presence, Mary's love and support for Leon remain unwavering. The proud mother shared that she and Leon maintain a close and consistent connection behind the scenes. "We talk often," she said warmly, before adding the reassuring update that they're doing well. Mary's words, though brief, offered a sense of peace, a gentle confirmation that even through personal trials and private healing, Leon continues to move forward with strength and support from their mother by their side. Standing solemnly at the cemetery, Kody Brown opened up to the cameras about a personal decision that carried deep emotional weight. "So, here's the thing. I talked to the sexton, the fellow who takes care of the cemetery and generally the one who digs the graves," Kody started, his tone echoing the seriousness of the time. "I asked him if he'd let me do it myself. Dig the grave. I can't really put into words why, but it means something to me. There's something very emotional about it. I just felt like I had to do this." Though it was a personal request, Kody did not carry out the task himself. He was accompanied by two men who had played significant roles in Garrison's life: his own brother, Scott, and his brother-in-law, Tim. Kody expressed gratitude for their presence, labeling them as members of the men group who raised Garrison to manhood. Their assistance represented not only support, but the presence of those who had loved and cared for Garrison throughout his life. Interestingly, Kody admitted that he hadn't brought the urn containing Garrison's ashes to the site that day, something that could have helped them measure and prepare the grave with more precision. However, he explained that a unique tribute was in the works. "Mitch, my son-in-law who's married to Aspen, he's creating something different," Kody said. "I'm not exactly sure what it looks like yet, but it's being made." In those still, painful moments on the graveyard site, it was obvious that this wasn't merely about making a resting area. It was about remembering Garrison in a very intimate, hands-on manner, with sweat, loss, and affection. Kody Brown clarified his motives for the physical labor he was investing in, burrowing the graveyard, pointing out that this was something beyond the dimensions or usefulness of the action. "Because we're not digging a grave big enough for a coffin, I intend to make it somewhat larger than absolutely required for the urn," he explained reflectively. "It matters to me to have the experience of exerting some actual effort, to actually work on this process." For Kody, it was not about the act itself. It was about how he could reach out and connect with the loss on an emotional level. "I'm simply trying to honor my son as best I can," he confessed softly. Then, considering the multifaceted feelings churning inside of him, he added, "I don't even know if honor would be the correct word to use for this. Perhaps it is more of a grieving thing, letting myself mourn." By this physical, intentional action, Kody was manifesting an intense expression of sorrow and love, combining the physical act of excavation with the highly personal process of loss and memory. Garrison's earthly journey will come to an end beside his other much-loved relatives, such as his grandmother Cheryl, about whom Kody Brown spoke in great esteem. "Grandma Cheryl probably cared for Garrison just as much as any one of us did," Kody mused, noting the special bond between them. With Kody standing beside the grave, he openly acknowledged the emotional value of the experience, I've never done anything like it before. Burying a grave, he admitted. But I really feel that this is one of the most significant things I've ever done in my life. It feels like the ultimate tribute to my boy, something personal and meaningful to do to honor him. Subsequently, in a tearful interview, Danielle Brown, Kody's ex-wife, whom he left in 2022, confirmed that Kody had called her with a special favor. He asked me to be the person who would be the one digging the grave, she said. I thought it was beautiful. It was symbolic, it was poetic, and the right thing, having Kody dig the hole himself. After a trip to Wyoming to bury his son, Kody Brown took the opportunity to privately prepare the gravesite beforehand of the burial ceremony, respecting Garrison's memory in the solemn, deep moments prior to saying goodbye. In a tell-all confessional interview, Kody Brown spoke of a very intimate moment regarding his choice at the cemetery. I talked to the sexton, the guy who typically digs the graves, he said softly. I just asked him if I could get permission to dig it myself. It's important to me, even though I'm not sure why. There's something very emotional about it. When his son died, Kody was estranged from Garrison, and so this deed is all the more notable, with the support of his brother Scott and brother-in-law Tim as he undertook this tough task at the time of his son's death. The father of 18 braved the solemn moment of getting the grave ready, digging a resting place for Garrison's ashes while drawing on each other for comfort and strength. In an emotional confessional interview, Kody Brown spoke about the intensely intimate experience of digging his son's grave. I've never done anything like this before. Actually digging a grave, he related gravely. But I really feel this is one of the most crucial things I've ever done in my life. It feels like the ultimate tribute to my boy, a way of honoring him in the most sincere way I can. At the same time, Danielle Brown, Garrison's mother and one of Kody's ex-wives, weighed in on the choice in her own interview, fully on board with Kody's participation. Kody called me and asked if he could do the digging, she remembered. I thought that was great, so symbolic, so poetic, so appropriate. It seemed like the right thing for Kody to do was to dig that grave himself. Together, Kody and Danielle had already decided to bury their son in Wyoming, opting for a resting place alongside Danielle's own mother. The sad decision created an additional layer of significance around the goodbye for Garrison, who tragically took his own life at just 25 years of age in March 2024. As Kody Brown came to prepare for the journey to come, he referred to the trip to Wyoming as something greater than a funeral. It was, as he said, a pilgrimage. The process of digging the grave wasn't merely a physical activity, but an intensely personal aspect of his healing and grieving process. This is about bringing my boy home, Kody said, and putting him to rest in the earth. During the funeral day, at his son's gravesite with him, Kody had a moving moment before the cameras. He candidly told of a recent dream he had, a dream that seemed important amidst all the bereavement. This private moment illustrated the conflicting feelings he was dealing with as he bid farewell. Kody Brown described a moving dream he had about his son, Garrison. In the dream, Garrison was on the bed, and he wasn't sad one bit, Kody explained gently. I said to him, "Why did you have to leave, boy?" And he said to me, "I'm not really gone. It's not so bad where I am. Dad, quit listening to sad music. It makes it tougher when I'm hanging around with you. But I'm okay. But seriously, quit with the sad music." To the intensely intimate tone of the goodbye, Garrison's brother-in-law, Mitch Thompson, designed a special urn for his remains, a bold, eye-catching, Viking ship-shaped design that represented a significant journey. Speaking about the funeral, Danielle Brown, the mother of Garrison, shared the weight of emotional responsibility for carrying his urn. As I picked up the urn, I felt its weight and said to myself, okay. There was something symbolic about the moment in which I entrusted it to Kody, she explained in an emotional, confessional interview. Regardless of the differences between Kody and me, in that moment, the only thing that mattered is that we were parents, two people who were sharing in the deep pain and love of losing a child. Later in the show, Kody Brown provides an honest account of the complicated process of grieving. When someone that you love dies, you go through this mourning. You mourn deeply, he describes reflectively in a confessional interview. Life continues on, and you do move forward to some degree. You concentrate on things besides him, you love new people, and you have new moments of happiness. But regardless of how much time has gone by, there is always a place left behind. He goes on to say, that place is for the one you loved and cherished. It's a spot in your life and in your heart that can never be filled again. It's empty, a reminder of the loss and the love you carry for the rest of your life. Prior to the burial service footage, there was a title card on screen that alerted viewers that, at the family's request, cameras were placed at a distance during the burial to honor their privacy. It was a gesture that saw the private and personal moment covered with compassion and respect, keeping in mind the family's request amid such tragedy. After that, Garrison's mother, Danielle Brown, addressed the cameras in an open and honest manner. She confessed to being just kind of numb, explaining how she didn't really have any feelings as she prepared for the devastating moment that awaited her. Looking back at the tragic truth, Danielle mentioned a chilling question. It's just one of those things where you wonder, how did we get here? The pain of loss was evident in her words, as she confirmed that the circumstances were nothing but sad and heartbreaking. In another interview, Mary Brown reiterated the deep sadness, voicing her own loss and despair. Meanwhile, Kody Brown, Garrison's father, spoke to the complicated feelings hanging over the funeral. He recognized that there's going to be some awkwardness still when the family came together for the service, a testament to the continued estrangement and tension within the wider Brown family dynamic. Mitch Thompson, Christine Brown's daughter, Aspen Thompson's husband, employed his carpentry and carving skills to craft a very personal tribute, an urn shaped like a Viking ship. This was a loving reference to Garrison's love of Norse mythology, expressing a personal link through this unusual and symbolic form. The memorial service was presided over by Tim, brother-in-law to Kody Brown, who made an unforgettable entrance wearing casual clothes in the form of a Hawaiian shirt and shorts. When questioned on this unusual dress code, Kody, 56, smiled to say, Garrison had this little business venture he wanted to launch called Bob's Floral, and the theme was to be Hawaiian shirts. This lighter moment added some humor and warmth to the otherwise solemn occasion. Tim started his speech off with a joke, remarking that marriage was why they were all there, making the crowd laugh hysterically. Danielle Brown, who is also 56, enjoyed the humor, thinking that Garrison himself would have enjoyed such a goofy and whimsical gesture. Moving to a more somber tone, Tim imparted a deep wisdom regarding Garrison's personality. The most important thing I learned from Garrison in life was that we're always going to find a way to cut up on something, he went on. We will always find a way to inject humor into our lives and really enjoy the time that we have. Tim recognized the intense sorrow felt by parents, saying, none of us, other than a mother who's been through it, can really comprehend a mother's suffering. And none of us, save a father who's lived through these conditions, can ever truly understand a father's regret. He continued with a positive outlook, and in time, a mother will know a mother's delight, and a father will know a father's pride. Mortality instructs us on how to accept both the pain and the pleasure that accompany life's path. To end the ceremony, Tim asked everyone to take off their shoes and socks and stand barefoot on the lawn. Kody later said that this was not a fundamentalist Mormon thing, but an act that was meaningful in keeping with Garrison's own special spirit. He underscored that the funeral wasn't cookie-cutter by any means, and that Garrison would have loved for people to feel connected to the earth in such an intimate, earthy manner. As I stand here with my bare feet on the ground, I wish to bear witness that I believe in the resurrection. I have faith, but more than that, I have hope that one day I will see my loved ones again, and we will celebrate together with a hug in our mutual embrace. Tim finished gravely, and I invite each of you to seek and acquire such testimony in the name of Christ Jesus. Amen. The time arrived to lower Garrison's urn into the ground. Danielle took the urn and handed it to Kody, who placed it in the ground tenderly. Danielle thought about how profoundly symbolic that action was. There's something strong in me handing him to Kody. First, Kody discussed a moving dream he had just had. Garrison was sitting on my bed, and he wasn't sad, he said. I asked him, "Why are you gone, boy?" He told me, "I'm not. It ain't that bad here. Dad, stop listening to sad music. It sucks when I'm hanging out with you. But I'm okay. Just stop with the sad music." Others in the family also had a turn to speak and were afforded a chance to put personal items into the casket. Christine's son, Peyton Brown, was the first to emerge, opting to put his dog tags from his time in the military on top of Garrison's. "I have yours, you have mine," Peyton, 26, explained softly to the assembly, looking back to the cameras afterwards, how that moment felt really, really right. Then the brother of Garrison, Hunter Brown, stepped up to the grave. "Garrison was my playmate. He was my bunkmate all of my life," he stated with deep emotion. "He was my arch nemesis, my best friend, and my blood brother," Hunter went on. "Garrison was the one who taught me how to give my first salute as a commissioned officer. This is the hat that I was wearing when I received that first salute from him." Hunter then respectfully put his hat in the grave. As others started filling it with dirt, Kody explained to the cameras that some of Garrison's relatives had brought special mementos, things of great personal significance, to place alongside him. "He's finally here. He's finally at rest," Danielle explained gravely to the cameras. "It's over. This part of the journey is over. Garrison died in March 2025 at the time of 25. People afterwards verified that it was a declared suicide.